Saturday morning. We've got a guest in the building this morning.
Oh my God!
Now, this ain't no normal guest.
Oh my God!
This ain't no regular guest.
This ain't no regular guest, man!
I mean, I'm not trying to put down the other guests that we have. Because I need to clear this up.
Right, no, of course, disclaimer.
Let me just clear that up. I love all the guests. But this guest is a special guest. Did you like the way I said that? Special guest?
Yeah, I did. The delivery was disgusting. As in good disgusting, not like disgusting.
All right.
Disgusting.
Introduce yourself this morning. Oh, no. Hold on. You want to do, should we do it in a Dominican style or should we do it in an English style? How you want to do it?
Well, the thing is, you ain't got a Dominican accent, so it's going to be a bit difficult.
I tell you, we got...
Oh, Lord have mercy on my
I tell you,
soul.
we got my brethren in the building this morning.
This is a Bajan accent. This is a Bajan accent.
Oh, is that Bajan?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shakka with 2Ks. My name is Shakka with 2Ks. My name is Shakka with 2Ks. Thank you for having me. Please forgive my co-host, for he has no idea what he is doing and has no experience in this game whatsoever. He is an intern, and therefore we are essentially just trying this out and making sure that we can give you a splendid show.
I got work experience,
I will
man.
be your host for the remainder of the segment, and I thank you for having me on this show. It is a pleasure to be here to promote one of the greatest EPs ever to be released in mankind's earphones. It is called the Island EP. It was released on November the 11th. It features the likes of the legends Mr. Vegas, Giggs, otherwise known as Hollow Man, and Wretch32. If you haven't got the EP, then please do yourself a favor and complete your life instantly. If you have heard of the EP and you're willing to listen to the EP, it is available everywhere. I thank you.
And Shakka, my friend,
Yes.
could you please further to let and enlighten my listeners,
Of course.
why they should purchase such an EP?
The reason why they should purchase the Island EP, aside from the fact that it is the greatest EP that's been created by humankind, is because the music, the bars, the hype, the happiness, in the middle of all the unhappiness that is happening in the world right now, through music and through news and through everywhere that you can see in every media outlet and every internet page and every Facebook post, my EP, ladies and gentlemen, will turn your frown upside down. You need to have this EP in your life. You need to have this EP in your life. I hope you enjoy it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the introduction to one of UK's finest. Shakka in the building.
All right, man.
Now, that's what I call an introduction.
Thank you for having
and
me.
I don't know like that. There's something about that.
I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you, brother.
Tell him to do something about it.
Do something, bro. You have to listen, bro. You have to play the music, you know. Thank you for having me, bro.
No, man, it's always a pleasure. It's a long time.
Yes,
you know?
it's been a minute.
I'm really proud of the movement, you know.
Thank you, man.
I'm proud of the
tribe is really,
movement.
really strong, and it's growing ever stronger every day, man. It's a
You know,
beautiful
when
thing.
you came to the show last time, you was talking about your growth, and
Yes.
and then I was talking about when I saw you on the show with Basement Jacks,
Yes,
and,
yes.
and I see the way you locked down the stage,
Yep.
and I said to my brethren, I said, no, he's gonna do things 2015.
Yeah.
I said it. He's gonna do things. And he's like, and he was a bit like,
Yeah.
And I said, no, he's gonna do things because there's something that he does that a lot of people don't do in this country. He knows how to work the stage.
Yeah, man. You have to, man.
So I want to commend you on that.
Thank you, brother. It means a lot. It means a lot. It helps that you have people who are contemporaries and also people who have come before you who know how to do that. The likes of Wretch, the likes of Giggs and Gets and JME and Chris Martin from Coldplay and many countless other musicians that I've seen just destroy stages. Like it's the connection that they have with the crowd and the energy they have and the seemingly unapologetic passion that they have for their own music. Like you have to remember, these people perform these songs over and over and over and over and over
Week
again.
in, week out.
Week in, week out.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is their livelihood. This is
Yeah.
their 9 to 5. Yet in their brain, this is their last time that they're going to be performing this for the rest of their life. You know, like this is their last show on Earth. This is their last night on Earth. It's their last day on Earth. So they're performing like that. Like I remember seeing JME perform in Amsterdam, and this was after Apple Sap Fest when I saw Skeppy perform. It was in the evening. I forgot what the venue was called, but he performed to people who had no idea how to speak his dialect, let alone English. And they heard him and they saw him perform and they were like, this is this is like Jeremy performed like he was not only the headliner but the greatest performer on earth. And me seeing that was just like, yo, like how? Because as a performer, you're always thinking about a bunch of different things. Do they know my songs? Do they know my music? He didn't seem like he thought about anything apart from shelling, apart from destroying the stage. And so for me, it's like, yo, like every show that I do, every interview that I do, every performance that I do, people need to know that I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's long for man. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I sincerely appreciate the compliment.
I love that. I love the fact that you said that, because the thing is, there's a difference in being overconfident that
Yeah.
people classify as arrogance,
Yeah.
or there's just self-belief
Yeah.
as well. I think sometimes that's kind of missing from certain artists.
Yeah.
They still got this, I'm not too sure
Yeah,
about
yeah.
what talent
Do you know
I have.
Do you know what's
Yeah,
weird?
yeah.
Do you know what's weird? I was it's recent now. I was having this conversation with my brother, and he said that about not only about the interviews that I had, but also just about when I'm speaking to people. Like the light that emanates from me comes from the music that they know, and if they don't know my music, they wouldn't have known what type of person I am on stage or wherever. And then the other thing is, when you actually do that, you acknowledge your own greatness within you.
Yeah.
So when you see people like Skeppy, and the way in which he walks, and the way in which he speaks to people, like, he don't need to say much. He just kind of takes the room just by walking in the room. Based on
This presence.
this presence, is this aura that he's been created. Is just, and it sounds like gas, but when people see him and when they speak to him and stuff, it makes sense. And when you see him in interviews and stuff, his main ethos is greatness and making sure that everybody else can benefit from the hard work that he's put into the music scene. And that feeling of not only giving back, but just making better stuff every time and making better music than he did the last time is infectious, and it's
Yeah.
exciting, and everyone can see
But
that.
you know what? It goes without saying that, because you know they say your reputation precedes you.
Of course.
And then the thing is, you can be the most talented person,
Yeah.
but if you've got this kind of bad aura about you,
Yeah.
people ain't going to want to deal with you.
Yeah, and
Do you
people
understand?
remember
And- yeah, exactly.
People
And one
remember
thing
it.
I've always heard about yourself, you're the same on stage as you are off the stage.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
you've got time for people as well.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
funny thing is, I've seen you at gigs going to watch other people.
Yeah, yeah,
and you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
there like regular with people,
Yeah,
watching
of
the show.
course.
People are like, hold on a minute. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
I
yeah,
see
of
the look
course.
on their face like,
Of course.
"What, is Shakka?" No, because you're a fan of music.
I'm a
as
fan of
well.
music, but the
Yeah,
thing is,
yeah,
for
yeah.
me, I don't really like. I don't really see myself as a celebrity as such. And
Yeah.
I say, and I know that a lot of people I've met, like Lauren Vula and Wretch and Luke from the Kooks and many different people, they just go to festivals because they like music.
Yeah.
And they go to, and like, it doesn't. There's not a point in your life or in your career where it stops because you are now on camera and you're now like you just go. You know, you buy a ticket just like everyone else. You buy your drinks at the bar. Some people may spot you, and they take selfies and all that kind of stuff, and it's
Yeah.
dope. But then you enjoy the show. Like, I was at Laura and Vula's gig, and it was just, I was transported somewhere. I was genuinely just transported somewhere by her voice and by the musicianship and the sounds and the chords. I tweeted like, Laura and Vula and chords is like rum and coke. It just makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like, just having the ability to know that, yo, like, we're in this thing because we just love music. We're in this thing because when we were 5, we didn't think about anything else other than, yo, this is sick. Like, seeing Glamour Kid perform Sweetest Taboo is sick. Like, seeing Andre 3000 do Bombs Over Baghdad with Big Boy is sick. Like, seeing anybody perform on stage, seeing Coldplay perform Yellow at Glastonbury is sick. Like, all of that kind of stuff is just dope.
And that's one of the funny things I wanted to talk to you about. You know,
Yeah.
you picked up. So you must have great minds think alike. Now you're saying like, you know, back to 5 years old, you've seen these artists.
Yeah.
And you look up to them and you're thinking, Did you ever at any point think, you know what, one day I'm gonna be doing that?
Yes.
Or was it? Oh, you did.
I told
Oh,
all
just-
my friends in primary school, like,
Right,
I'm
okay.
gonna be rich. I'm gonna be a big star. I'm gonna sing all over the stage, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do it. And it's weird because that was instilled in me by my family.
Right.
My brother always used to say, everybody knows that Justin is the best. Like, he would do this everywhere. When he won a football game, when he destroyed someone at Street Fighter, like, he was always saying that. And so that was the environment that I grew up in.
Yeah.
My mum was the same thing. Work twice as hard as everyone else, so that it's undeniable that you deserve all the winnings that you should be getting. My pops was the same thing. He ensured that I went to music school. He ensured that when I was doing any of my songs, or when I was, not necessarily my songs, but practicing and working on it, make sure that you've invested the hours and the time.
Wow.
Times tables, piano lessons, words, anything. Like, the whole family was there saying, yo, grind in it and make sure that it works. And it wasn't doom and gloom. It was actually fun to be able to find friends who were on the same wavelength, who were also working in the same way that I was.
Well, that's interesting because you know as well, you know as well as I know, especially in the Caribbean and the African culture, there's always this stigma that the parents try to, you know what I mean, take you away from the music industry. There's always this stigma that it's not a place to be.
Of course.
It's not a good job.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? So it was quite good for you that you had that good support network.
Of course.
Which is quite rare because I speak to a lot of youngsters, sometimes it's just their mum.
Of course.
Not necessarily their dad.
But here's the thing. I think the advantage is the fact that my father was a musician himself, and he had toured quite a few times before I was born.
Right,
and so he's seen that lifestyle and he's seen that it is lucrative. However, he did say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Study something, make sure you do practice on the side, but make sure that you've got something to fall back on if something doesn't work out.
What was you studying?
Computer science.
Computer science.
So I studied computer science in university, Queen Mary University, graduated with a 2-1, and I used it for like 3 months. But that was only because before I got my first job, the day before I got my first job, I dropped my first mixtape, The SHAKKA Affair.
Right.
So from then, it was kind of just trying to balance an act and realizing that music was where I want to go. Like, it's funny, like my sister said something after, because I got fired after 2.5 months during my probation period because they believed that I wasn't really investing time in the workplace. And that was during the time when I was doing gigs in the evening. So I had no time to do any of the things that they asked me to do. And then my sister said, so what are you going to do now? And I'm like, yeah, well, I might see if I can go on read.com and send constant amounts of job applications and send my CV off to different places and speak to recruitment. She was like, stop. When are you going to stop putting off your dream? And from then, it was like, right, okay, so my sister believes that it's a dream and my family believes that it's a dream and they believe that I have talent. Let me just go hard on this. And for about 3 years, I had no money until after Blackout and after my first few EPs and after the Shackapellas that I did, like people started booking me for shows and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it was understandable why people told me and why my family told me, yo, like you need to have a balance in that between the music and the 9 to 5. But at the same time, music is too damn good. Music is too damn good.
Now we've got loads of youngsters. I love your journey, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Loads of youngsters listening to you right now. They're like, you know, you being one of their favourite artists.
Appreciate it, man.
And you spoke about the family support network.
Yep.
Encouraging you through education.
Yep.
And all that. What is it about yourself, quality about yourself that you feel you could share that is very important for getting to the journey that you've reached to today?
I talk to everyone.
Right.
I talk to everyone and I don't tell myself that I don't deserve to get the things that I really want, because that defeats the objects of wanting something or having ambitions and dreams. Like, it's one thing to say, yo, I want to work with this guy and I want to write with that guy and I want to write on this project and I want to write on this thing. But to then meet them and then think, they're not going to want to work with me, it's counterproductive.
Right.
Because then, and I said this to a lovely chap I was speaking to before, like, when you tell yourself that that something is messed up or that something is wrong or that you don't deserve something, then your brain starts to make sense as to why those lines are true. And then in your brain, it becomes a fact.
Yeah.
When really and truly, it's just an opinion that hasn't been proven yet.
Yeah.
And so when you tell yourself that you're a bad man and that you're actually dope at what you do and that you're excited about what you want to do and this doesn't come from nowhere, then in your brain, you're like, this, your subconscious mind starts to make sense of all of the statements that you make. So if you're like, yo, I'm a sick MC, why am I a sick MC? Because of this bar, because of that lyric, because of this, because of that. All of a sudden, you're the baddest MC that ever came on the face of this earth. So you then go on that stage like, yo, if they don't get it, then something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if they don't get it, and then you speak to people and then explain why, it's even better for you, because what happens is you get feedback from people who know hip hop or who know rap or who know the thing that you love. And so what happens is you're only getting better and better and better. So, like, I guess my main point is the idea that in a space or in an industry where you want to just murk and be the best, like, you have to tell yourself that you're sick, because what will then happen is you'll go into the studio believing you're sick and writing sick lines and subconsciously coming up with dope stuff. Like, your brain will make it work. Your brain will say, all right, cool, what is a sick line? Then you'll write a sick line. And then it'll make sense to you because you can identify it as a sick line, to the point where you have a sick verse, to the point where you then have a sick chorus, to the point where you then have a sick song, a sick mixtape, a sick album, a sick show, a sick career in general. But it all starts from telling yourself that you're sick to begin with. Do you know what I mean?
I love it. What can you say after that?
Better things. The Island is out now. That is my latest EP. It is the greatest EP that's ever been dropped.
What can I say after that, really?
On the face of humankind. Hang tight Gigs. Hang tight Mr. Vegas.
Yeah.
Hang tight Rich 32. Shout out to Pitched Up. Shout out to Columbia. Shout out to Nikki, my manager. Shout out to the family. Shout out to DJ Target and Danny Weed for signing man and making sure that the whole world can get to see my music.
No, collect that award. Collect that award and accept it. Do the speech. Do the speech properly.
Exactly.
Do it properly.
I'd like to thank my mum and dad.
Yes.
I'd like to thank everybody.
Amen.
I'd like to thank Liam in the building who's recording our sweet sounds and making us
Hallelujah.
sound so dope. I'd like to thank everybody who supported me and made me feel like the greatest person to ever live. The Island's out now. Listen and download it. Come on.
Yeah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Everybody. Everybody.
Hey, yeah, we've got SHAKKA in the building. It's been a pleasure as always. You know?
Bruv, it's so amazing.
Love your vibe, you know.
Thank you, bro.
Love your
much
vibe.
appreciated.
Didn't get my dub plate last year, but I really.
But your Converses are nice though. Forget the dub plate. Your Converses are nice.
No, but it's alright. But I like your Converse though. No, but you see, I like the way you did that.
Snap.
No, I like the way.
Snap.
I like the way you
Ebony
did
and
that.
Ivory live together in perfect harmony. I'm only saying this because his Converses are white and mine are black, and nobody can see that, so I have to illustrate that. You know,
We'll have to
punchlines
Instagram
have
it.
to
We'll have
land.
to Instagram it.
Come
yeah?
on, man. Come
All
on.
right then.
Thank
So
you
listen.
so much for having me, bro.
No, man, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. So what we're going into this morning? What should we play? This current single?
Let's play. You need to play the whole EP. What do you mean?
What do you mean the whole EP?
You got time.
Listen.
You got time. You
Wait,
know what you should play? You should
what?
play Don't Call Me. Then you should play Turn Off the Lights of Wretch. Then you should play Inner London with Gigs.
Oh,
That's what you
God.
should play.
Yeah, hear that? No.
And then you should play I Love the Way with Mr. Vegas. And then you should play Yo Babes. Because that might be the next song. I don't know. It might be.
Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that, listeners? He wants me to play the whole EP. Cool. But I know 2 dub plates is coming out of this.
Okay, all right.
Standard.
I mean.
And my Converse are white this morning.
Basically, what he's trying to do is trying to get me to confirm things on air without speaking to my team, which is cool, obviously, but contractually. Like, obviously, I would just falsify my contract, and you don't want that. You don't want me just like walking around with no business.
I want
partners.
you to have a nice Christmas this year.
Thank you.
Really. And
So
what are
do
your
I.
plans for the Christmas this year?
My plans for the Christmas is to visit family and to spend time with family and to cook food and to eat food and
No problem.
and to watch football games and to watch The Godfather 3 again for the second time.
No problem. You will have a splendid Christmas.
You have a splendid Christmas too.
And it's been a pleasure for you being here, sir.
Thank you, brother. Likewise, brother.
Yeah. And we'll link up again.
Yeah, man.
No doubt.
This was dope.
Blessings.
Thank you, brother.
Blessings.
Yes.
Blessings. All right, let's go.